So, William A. Parker was lynched in the city of Washington in Beaufort County, North Carolina on March 13, 1888. The city I spent 18 years growing up in. Population of around 10,000, situated on the northern bank of the Pamlico River. In any ways that you can think of, Washington is your typical conservative, small, eastern North Carolinian town. Unfortunately, there is no recollection of the recorded age or occupation of William Parker. What we do know is that William Parker was an unmarried young African-American man at the time of his lynching. The scarce information that's provided around William's life instead is completely focused on him being accused of murdering a white man, Brian Grimes. This just pushes forth the fact that there's a lack of care and defamation of the character of black individuals in North Carolina. William Parker was lynched shortly after being acquitted of murdering Brian Grimes. So Brian Grimes was a former Confederate Major General, where he was the highest-ranking North Carolinian to serve in this position. He was also engrossed in political and economic post-war North Carolina. He was a member of the Democratic Party and was a founder of the Ku Klux Klan in Pitt County, which is 25 minutes from Beaufort County. According to different records, there's nothing completely positive about this. It's believed that individuals who were either opposed to the Ku Klux Klan or who were just kind of involved in the conflict hired William Parker as a hitman to murder Brian Grimes. There's also suspicion that the murder occurred to prevent Grimes from testifying in a criminal trial. Brian Grimes was found dead in 1880 near Bear Creek while on his way home from Pitt County from a political convention that was going on in Beaufort County. As recorded in a Washington newspaper article, Grimes was 9 miles from home when he was shot from ambush. The only information that's present is on account of a Washington newspaper, so it's 100% not super objective in nature, but it was stated in this newspaper that William Parker's shoes fit the footprints that were found near Marsh Creek. And in these newspapers, he was quoted as a young man living in the neighborhood arrested on suspicion. There were 2 witnesses who stated they saw William Parker carrying a shotgun on the afternoon of Brian Grimes' death on August 18, 1880. That following fall, William Parker was tried for murder, but because a juror that was present was ill, it was classified as a mistrial. The case was then moved on to Martin County, which is not super far away, and in the spring of 1881, Parker was tried again and acquitted. In 1888, it was reported that Parker was back in Washington and was drunk and bragging about murdering Brian Grimes. The authorities put him in jail for his own protection, but at 2 a.m. he was abducted by a mob of 10 to 15 individuals. And at around 3 a.m., a broken drawbridge in Washington caused a steamboat to stop, and the keeper of the boat found Parker's body hanging from the bridge, with a place card attached that said, "Justice at last." It's incredibly interesting to kind of look at the account of William Parker's murder in Washington in the Washington newspaper, as there are literally only 2 short newspaper articles that have record of his life and this occurrence. They do recount the events, but there's no way to know the objectivity in both of these. It's absolutely heartbreaking to look at the little information that there is surrounding William A. Parker's life. Just 2 short newspaper articles and the census document his existence. There's no way to know the objectivity in each of these articles, and there's quite literally no other information surrounding William's life. No photos and no stories of his existence or his life story in general. There's no way to know what actually happened in the murder of Brian Grimes. But this is not just the case for William Parker, as there are so many men, women, and unidentified individuals who were lynched in North Carolina who don't have information or the memorial that they deserve around their stories. I ask you to take a moment of silence for all of the individuals who were lynched in North Carolina.